26. So the White Sox, the Indians, meeting for the first time here tonight. And then tomorrow night, they'll wind up this brief series. 7:30 game. Sid Monty will get his first start of the year. And Francisco Barrios will be going for the White Sox. In fact, Monty's start will be the first ever as a member of the Cleveland Indians. Now let's take a look at the lineups. For the White Sox, leading it off and playing in right field, young man who we had a chance to watch last year, Thad Bosley. He was with the Angels, came up late in the year, and he can fly. He is batting .375 currently for the White Sox. Al Bannister will be the shortstop, batting at .120. Chet Lemons in center field. He's hitting at .306. Playing left field and batting in the cleanup spot will be Nordhagen. He was a catcher for a while, and now they've made Ron an outfield, hitting at .267. Wayne Nordhagen. They tried him as a catcher early in the year, and they have made the switch back to the outfield, but he can still catch if necessary. Lamar Johnson at first base. He's hitting at .228. Doing the catching, young man William Naharodny. Naharodny hitting at .260, but he's had 5 home runs and 17 RBIs. George Order will be the second baseman, hitting at .280. The designated hitter, batting in the 8th spot, young man that we haven't seen before, Alvin Moore. He's hitting at .293. And batting 9th at third base, Eric Soderholm. Soderholm's batting average at .214. For the Indians, leading off in right field, Paul Dade. Dade hitting at .278. It'll be Jim Norris, the designated hitter, at .273 batting average. Batting third at third base, Buddy Bell. He's hitting at .309. Andre Thornton will be at first base. Andre, a .262 batting average. In center field, Rick Manning. Manning hitting at .250. Johnny Grubb will be in left field. Grubb's batting average at .244. The second baseman is Dwayne Kuiper. Kuiper hitting at .244. Batting 8th and doing the catching is Ron Hassey, a .197 hitter. And batting 9th, the shortstop, Tom Bereiser. Bereiser with a batting average of .265. Umpires marching out to home plate for their pregame meeting. They're working with 3 umpires tonight. Behind the plate, it'll be Joe Brinkman. On the first base side, Dale Ford and Nick Bremergen will work the third base side. The 4th umpire, Russ Getz, attending the graduation of one of his children. So 3 umpires working in this game tonight. The manager's heading up to home plate for the Indians, Jeff Torborg. Old familiar face, good friend, Bob Lemon. Bob Lemon, one of the Indians' greatest pitchers in their history. Lemon has won 20 games or more on 7 different occasions for the Cleveland Indians. Of course, Bob Lemon, now enshrined in the Hall of Fame. So Lemon and Torborg meeting with the umpires. We'll be back to get this game started after we have this timeout.
The day is done. It's time to let it go. It's the morning tomorrow.
Browns and Indians. WWWJ Johnstown.
Umpires have finished their meeting. We wait for the Indians to charge onto the field, and while that's going on, we'll check on the scoreboard. In the National League this afternoon, the Chicago Cubs, playing at home in Wrigley Field, picked up a run in the bottom half of the 9th inning, and they defeated the Houston Astros by a count of 2-1. The winning pitcher, Hernandez, in relief. He is 5-1. And the losing pitcher, Lemon Jello, he is now 1-5, and he has lost 6. For the Cubs, 2 runs, 8 hits. They played errorless ball. And for the Houston Astros, they had 1 run on 8 base hits, so they also played errorless ball. They had 10,201. And the Chicago Cubs, now a game and a half in front of the Philadelphia Phillies. Make it 2 games because the Phillies are yet to play tonight. Cubs 2 games up in the Eastern Division. The Phillies behind them, then comes Montreal. In the Western Division, the San Francisco Giants have been a surprising team in that National League West. They are a game and a half in front of Cincinnati and 5.5 up on the Dodgers. In the American League, it's the Boston Red Sox leading the Yankees in the East 4.5 games, with the Tigers 6.5 back. Western Division, it's still the Oakland A's. They are 1 game in front of Kansas City, 2.5 in front of California, and 3.5 on top of the Texas Rangers. The Indians will be here again tomorrow night. And tomorrow night we'll see Francisco Barrios going against Sid Manji. The Indians giving Manji his first start ever as a member of the Cleveland Indians. Sid Manji gets a start tomorrow, and then on Wednesday night, we will have our first twilight doubleheader of the year at the stadium. Game time will be 5:35 as the Toronto Blue Jays charging into town. Here at the stadium, the grass really looks to be in good shape. Boston have had some chance to work on it. Mother Nature has cooperated, and the field in really good shape. 320 down the lines, of course, here at the stadium, and 400 feet to dead center field, 375 in the power alley. Indians take to the field. For the Chicago White Sox, they're a team, I think I said their record, 23 and 26 there, or 19 and 26. They're actually 19 and 29 on the year. White Sox had a very tough start, but they have begun to play some very nice baseball. As we mentioned at the start of the show, the White Sox had won 7 in a row before they came up against the Kansas City Royals yesterday afternoon. The Kansas City took out some frustration, and they nailed the White Sox yesterday afternoon. But the White Sox certainly a team to be reckoned with. Really a slim schedule in the American League tonight. Baltimore will be at California, Boston's at Oakland, and New York's at Seattle. All the other teams get the day off, so we will not have much of a scoreboard for you from the West Coast. In the National League, San Diego's in Montreal. San Francisco will be at Philadelphia. That'll be a battle. Giants pitching against the booming bats of the Phillies. The Atlanta Braves are in Pittsburgh, and it'll be the Dodgers at Shea Stadium, New York. Cincinnati will journey to St. Louis, and the Cincinnati Reds hoping to get things working for them. Chicago Cubs. How about the Cubs? 2 games in first place in the National League East at the moment. Of course, that's depending on what happens with the Philadelphia Phillies tonight. Rick Waits, who has had good success against the White Sox. He is 6'3", 195 pounds, 26 years old. Rick, with an earned run average of 3.29. His last outing he had some trouble, and basically it's just a matter of control. Rick Waits with a good fastball. His curveball has not only improved the fact that he's controlling it better, but it's also a much faster curveball. He's throwing with more velocity, and it's really snapping. He also throws a forkball, and occasionally he'll mix in a slider. So Rick Waits is set to go. Thad Bosley will lead it off. He's a left-handed speedster. And now all ready to go for us. Big smile on his face as he puts down the score of the Chicago Cub game this afternoon. Joe Tate is here to tell you that it is
a beautiful night for baseball. Thank you, Herb. Good evening, everybody. On the mound, left-hander Rick Waits against Thad Bosley. Bosley, a left-hand batter, waiting now as the baseball is examined by the home plate umpire, and he decides that it's A-OK. So Bosley, 15 hits and 40 at-bats since being called up from Iowa. 375 average, 1 homer, 5 runs batted in. Bosley, Herb mentioned before, played previously with the California Angels. In fact, his first at-bat was against the Angels, and he hit a home run against them. Pitches low and outside, breaking ball 1. Indians with Thornton at first, Kuiper at second, Verizon at short, Bell at the cut of the grass at third. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Bosley pops a foul out of play to the left, and that takes the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball game just getting underway here at the stadium. Bosley, Bannister, and Lemon against Rick Waits in the first inning. Wind up, pitch, hit to third. Bell on the grass, grabs and throws. Bosley is out, and there's 1 away. 1 down. Alan Bannister, the shortstop. He's had 3 hits in 25 at bats, a 120 batting average, with no homers and no runs batted in. Minnie Minoso coaching at first base. And at third base, Bobby Knopp. Waite shakes off 1 sign from Hasse. Cranks and throws. Bannister to bunt. Missed. Strike 1. Outfield for the Tribe tonight. Grubb in left, Manning in center, and Dade in right. Norris doing the designated hitting. 1 out, nobody on. Wind up by Waits on the strike 1 pitch. Bannister takes low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. as Herb mentioned, Waits has never lost to the White Sox. He's 3-0. 1-1 pitch. Outside and high, 2 balls and a strike.
Don Kessinger not playing tonight for the White Sox. He jammed the wrist in Kansas City, falling in the artificial turf, so he's out for a day or 2.
2 balls and a strike to the right-hand batting Alan Bannister. Wind up, 2-1 pitch. That's a strike to the count, is even 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sunshine still shining on the upper deck in right. Clear skies and 63 degrees. There's a slap up the middle, got by Waits over a leaping Dwayne Kuiper and into center field, a base hit. Well, Bannister drills one into center field. That is the first hit of the ball game. Puts Bannister aboard with 1 out and brings up Chet Lemon. Lemon at 306, 5 homers, 21 RBIs, has a 7-game hitting streak going with 7 runs batted in. His 10 hits in the span include 3 homers and 3 doubles. Waits will work from the stretch with Bannister at first base. A stretch, look, pitch. Inside, ball 1. Nordhagen on deck. Lemon looks to the third base coach for the sign. White Sox in those dark blue clam digger outfits. Indians in the home white. Stretch and pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the home plate umpire, Joe Brinkman, goes to work with the whisk broom. And Waits hooks in again to Ron Hasse for the sign. White Sox are 13-13 in home, 6-16 on the road. Now Lemon, tired of waiting, steps back. Indians are 12-8 here at the stadium, 11-18 on the road. Sox hitting .265 as a team with 36 homers. The Indians hitting .255 as a club with 33 for the distance. Throw to first, Bannister back. 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out. This is the top of the first. White Sox at bat. Waits looks in for the sign from Hasse. Here's the stretch. And the runner goes. Pitch to Lemon. Chop to the mound. Grabbed by Waits. No play at second. Throws to first. Lemon is out cool.
He broke his bat on it, and the runner going. The ball not hit that hard. By the time it reached Waits, the runner was already sliding into second. He had no chance for play.
The batter is Nordhagen. Herb talking about Nordhagen before the ball game began. He is a catcher. He's an outfielder. He does the DH work for them. Nordhagen, 6'2", 210. With the White Sox last year in 52 games at 315. One time he was in the Philly organization, I believe. Bannister leads at second base. 2 outs. The stretch by Waits. And the pitch to Nordhagen. Low and inside, ball 1. Hasse came up, but Bannister was going back to the bag. Ball 1. Lamar Johnson on deck. A stretch. And the pitch. Nordhagen takes high. Ball 2. 2-0. Sox are here tomorrow night. It'll be Sid Mangia against Francisco Barrios. And then on Wednesday night, twilight doubleheader with the Toronto Blue Jays starting at 5:35. Tomorrow's ball game back to the normal night game starting time of 7:35. Stretch by Waits. And the 2-0 pitch to Nordhagen. He takes the strikes and the count is 2-1. 2 outs with a runner at second base. We're in the top half of the first inning. Nordhagen steps back. Looks down to Bobby Knapp, the third base coach. Waits gets the sign from Hasse. Bannister 3-4 steps off the bag at second. A stretch. 2-1 pitch. Nordhagen hits the curveball. High hop to the mound. Grabbed by Waits. Turns and throws. Got him, and the side is retired. No runs and a hit with a man left. And at the end of 1/2 inning of play, the White Sox nothing. The Indians are coming to bat.
It's definitely different. It's differently exciting. It's the kind of club you wish you knew about sooner. Marco Polo, the super distro for people over 21, with a finest selection of current music and a sound system unconditionally guaranteed to shake your senses and your soul. Every Wednesday night is ladies' night, and happy hour lasts all day. Marco Polo, 1605 West 5th Avenue in Columbus, across from North Star.
This is Dave Smith, station at Third. On Broad Street, we're halfway between Columbus and Newark. We sell new Fords. We will save you money. In fact, we have a little statement we make. If we can't save you money on a new Ford, I'll buy you 2 steak dinners. And we don't buy very many steak dinners. So come on over and see us. We've got a fine selection right now, new and used cars, over 200 new cars, almost 100 used cars. So if you want a new Ford or a used car, come see us on Broad Street.
Steve Stone, a right-hander going for the Chicago White Sox. Stone is 4-3. Stone coasted to a 17-2 victory over the California Angels at Comiskey Park in his last start, May 31st, allowing only 5 hits. He was 2-1 against the Tribe last year, winning the first 2 and then losing 9-2. When he was with the White Sox in 1973, Stone broke even in 2 starts against the Tribe. So career-wise, the Cleveland native holds a 3-2 edge over the Indians, and he will look first at Dade, Norris, and Bell in the first inning. On the scoreboard, Atlanta and Pittsburgh have played 2 scoreless innings. Ruthven against Candelaria. San Diego at Montreal, that's Rasmussen against May. San Francisco at Philadelphia, that's Vida Blue against Steve Carlton. Still to be heard from, L.A. at New York, Cincinnati at St. Louis, and in the American League, there are 3 tonight out of the West Coast that will be starting in about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So we go to the home half of the first inning. Joe Nasick coaching at third. Rocky Calavito at first. Paul Dade will lead it off. Dade at 278, 3 homers, 14 RBIs. He has a 5-game hitting streak working. He has raised his batting average 40 points in the last 5 games with 11 hits and 21 at-bats, a .524 average. There's that blue 00 on the back of the home white. Steve Stone, right-handed. 5'10", 175 pounds. Wind up by Stone. Here's the first pitch. That is a strike of the knees to Dade, strike 1. Johnson at first, Orta at second, Bannister at short, and Soderholm at third. Here's the strike 1 pitch to Dade. Paul pops it up. Second baseman Orta going back on the grass, waiting, and makes the catch. 1 out. Dade pops up to the second baseman. There's 1 away in the first inning and brings on the left-hand batting designated hitter, Jim Norris. Norris at 273 with 1 homer and a total of 7 runs batted in. Jimmy Norris. On deck, Buddy Bell. Indians will be in Chicago next Monday and Tuesday night for games with the White Sox. Then on up to Minnesota. The Twins will be here this coming weekend. Pitch to Jimmy Norris is outside, ball 1. 1 out, nobody on. Home half of the first inning, there is no score at the stadium. A wind up on the pitch. Norris takes low. Ball 2, 2-0. Outfield for the White Sox tonight. Nordhagen in left. Lemon in center. And Bosley in right. Pitch. Norris fouls it back on the screen. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now Haradny is catching. Stone on the mound. White Sox team ERA is 4.14. The Indians' ERA took a very big jump, 29 points in that doubleheader on Sunday, from 3.95 up to 4.24. Strike with a curveball at the knees, with a count on Norris evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Home half of the first inning. Steve Stone working on the left-hand batting, Jim Norris. 2-2 pitch to Jimmy. Norris hits a foul fly. That'll go out of play to the left. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Indians reactivated Horace Speed today and optioned Larry Lintz to Portland, their AAA club. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Jimmy Norris. Norris hits a high drive, left center field, racing over the left fielder, under the ball. Nordhagen makes the catch, 2 outs. 2 away in the first inning. The batter is Buddy Bell. Bell at 309, 2 homers, 21 runs batted in. He too has a 5-game hitting streak going. He's had 8 hits in his last 21 at bats. Over the last 10 ball games, Buddy hitting 14 for 42, a very nice .333 average. Andre Thornton on deck. Wind up by Stone, and the pitch to Buddy. Bell hits a fly ball into left center field, and that one is in for a base hit. Picked off by Nordhagen. Bell turns first and hangs on as the throw comes into Bannister. Well, Buddy Bell extends his hitting streak to 6 games in a row as he drops a hit into left field. Hits are even at 1, and it brings on Andre Thornton. Thornton at 262, 9 homers, 31 RBIs. He was named the American League Player of the Week. 7 hits, 17 at bats, a .412 average, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 11 RBIs. A slugging percentage of 1.058 with 2 game-winning hits.
That's something.
Here's the pitch to Andre. High pop fly ball. Bannister back. Under the ball. Shortstop along the foul line. Makes the catch of the side as retired. So in the first inning for the Indians, same story as for the Sox. No runs and a hit with a man left. The end of 1. The Indians nothing. The Chicago White Sox nothing.
Do it any way you want to, but do it in a Dodge from Spitzer Dodge in Columbus. The 1978 Dodge line is the best ever, featuring the new Magnum XE, the totally personal approach to driving excitement. The Magnum XE is your own private island. The most tempting of this year's line is the 78 Dodge Diplomat, a car that fits everyone to a T. And of course, the Dodge fans are in a class by themselves. See them all at Spitzer Dodge, 5100 East Main, Columbus.
Dodge, depend on it.
Now at Merle's Union 76 station at the corner of Main and Coshocton in Johnstown, your car air conditioning system will be checked inside and out for only $9.95. Now that's some special. Merle's will check your air conditioner condenser for dirt, check the pressure on the high and low side, look for bubbles and leaks, check your thermostat and clutch operation, check coolant and protection levels, check the pressure cap, radiator pressure and cleanliness, and all the radiator and heater hoses and V-belts, all for just $9.95. At Merle's Union 76 station in Johnstown, trust Merle's and cool it.
The Reds tonight in St. Louis. Seaver are pitching for the Reds in St. Louis. Seaver with a record of 5-4, and he will be opposed by Bob Forsch. Forsch with a record of 7-3. Atlanta and Pittsburgh have now played 3 scoreless innings in Pittsburgh. And they posted the pitchers in New York. Roden for the Dodgers. Brewers going for the Mets, and the Dodgers failed in the first. Second inning here at the stadium, the Chicago White Sox have Lamar Johnson to bat first and Naharodny the catcher. And then we'll see George Orta, the second baseman. Rick Waits to work on him. Johnson hitting .228, 4 homers and 22 runs batted in. First pitch to him, the curveball for a strike 1. No score in the top of the second inning. Boy, just a beautiful, cool evening down here. Time call, Johnson stepping back. Weatherman says expect more of the same tomorrow, but with higher temperatures.
Right.
Wind up by Waits. Strike 1 pitch. Outside and high with a curveball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lamar Johnson. Sox last year. Pitch. Line drive. Kuiper can't get it. It's into right field, a base hit. Well, Lamar Johnson opens the second inning by driving a hit into right field. That is the Chicago White Sox second hit of the ball game. And it brings to bat Bill Naharodny, the catcher, hitting .260, 5 homers, 17 runs batted in. Naharodny last year with Oklahoma City in 115 games at 17 homers, 69 RBIs at .262, then came briefly with the Sox at the end of the year. Pitch to him is low and inside, ball 1. Naharodny in the Philadelphia organization previously as a white 15 in the back of the dark blue. Looks down to Bobby Knopp, the third base coach. Now gets back in, has a slightly open right-hand stance. Stretched by Waits, looks to the runner at first base. Pitch, Naharodny fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Indians and the White Sox at the stadium. Family night ball game. The Indians' next family night affair will not be until July the 3rd when Baltimore is in town. Here's the stretch, the look, and the pitch, and Naharodny drives a foul ball a long way, but fouled all the way into the upper deck in right and drops down into the seats right behind the right field bullpen dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fans eventually fumble the ball back out on the field. And time will be called as the ball boy trots down to retrieve that ball in the corner. While we wait, the scoreboard shows the Giants and the Phillies are now scoreless at the end of 1 inning of play. That is Blue against Carlton. Stretch by Rick Waits. He's got a 1-2 count on Naharatny, and a swing and a miss. Struck him out. Naharatny fans, that is the first strikeout for Rick. Waits, having worked 69 and 2/3 innings, has now struck out 37 and walked 23. And it brings up George Orta, the second baseman. Orta at 280, 7 homers, 29 RBIs. Orta has hit safely in 8 of his last 9 ball games. This guy used to hit Gaylord Perry like it was batting practice.
Oh, he sure did. Left field, right field, didn't make any difference.
And there weren't too many when Gaylord was here and cooking that hit him that well, but Orta was one of them. Here's the stretch. Look to first base, and the pitch, and Orta takes a strike, strike one. And we'd like to remind you that the Akron Press Club meeting on June 6th is the kickoff for a big Akron night at the stadium. And Ted Cox will be at the Press Club lunch. To tell you more about that Akron night, it'll be on July 8th. Here's the pitch. That is a ball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. July the 8th, a twilight doubleheader with Boston. The Akron night of the stadium, co-sponsored by the Touchdown Club and the Varsity A Association. Tickets will go on sale Wednesday, June 7th. Pick them up at the University of Akron Athletic Business Office. Pitch to the left-hand batting George Orta, low and outside, 2 balls and a strike. Junior Moore on deck. Bell playing at the cut of the grass at third. Johnson at first base. 1 out in the top of the second inning. The stretch by Waits. Looks to first. The pitch. Orta swings, tried to check, went too far. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Herb, I see that the shortstop the Indians have such high hopes for, Alfredo Griffin, is now hitting 300 at Portland.
You look at some of those batting averages of that Portland Ball Club.
Smack on the ball, got about 8 guys over 300. Throw to first base, Johnson is back. Oliver at 388, Ellis at 362, Yancey at 356, Briggs at 331, Norad at 325, Rosello at 319, and Griffin at 300. The stretch. Waits the pitch to Orta. Swing and a miss on the curveball. Struck him out. Second strikeout for Waits. This brings to bat Junior Moore, the designated hitter. Moore is a right-hand batter. Moore hitting .293 with 4 runs batted in. Junior, his real first name is Alvin, is 5'11", 183. He was with Atlanta last year in 112 games, 5 homers, 34 RBIs, and hit .260. He had a clause in his contract that said if he didn't play enough, and it was, I guess, his determination, he could declare himself a free agent. Pitch. Strike above the knees of the inside corner, strike 1. He is now with the Chicago White Sox. Soderholm on deck. The stretch by Waits. Look to first base. Johnson with a short lead. The pitch, and Moore hits a foul fly out of sight to the right. Strike 2. Van Beach comes chugging out to home plate with a new load of baseballs for Joe Brinkman. Ball came back downstairs, and there is a scramble. This is the top of the second. There's no score between the Sox and the Tribe. We're at the stadium. Stretch. Look to first. Wait with the pitch to Moore, and Junior takes outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Looks a little strange to see down in the dugout Sid Manji sitting there charting pitches. He's going to start tomorrow night. Here's the stretch. Waits looks to first and then throws to Moore, and Moore swing and a miss on the curveball, and Waits strikes out the side. No runs, 1 leadoff single, and then 3 strikeouts for Waits. At the end of an inning and a half, it is Cleveland nothing, the White Sox nothing.
The day is done. It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind. So just say bud. And for the king of beers and
settle back and please yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of blood is like an easy chair when you say Budweiser. Hey, that's right. Nothing goes with that special time you call yours like the clean, fresh taste of Budweiser. When you say Budweiser, you said it. Oh, Anheuser-Busch St. Louis.
In the home half of the second inning, Manning, Grubb, and Kuiper, three left-hand batters, will go against right-hander Steve Stone. At Montreal, Andre Dawson hit his 8th home run of the year with a man on, and that gives them a 2-1 lead over San Diego. Rasmussen against May. And that's about the only alteration we have on the scoreboard. Detroit, Kansas City, Milwaukee, Minnesota, Texas, and Toronto all have the night off. Well, they have a fellow in here tonight from Tokyo, Japan. He is certainly no stranger to baseball. Manning, a left-hand hitter, hitting .250, 2 homers, 14 runs batted in, 5-game hitting streak going, and Rick takes a strike one. Manning has had 9 hits in his last 22 at-bats, a .409 average. Next pitch, and Manning wraps the ball on the ground to the second baseman order, fumbles it, recovers and throws. Manning is out. Rick is out, 1 down, second inning. Here's Johnny Grubb. Grubb, the left fielder, at .244, 5 homers and 14 runs batted in. Grubby's had a little tough hitting of late.
He sure has. I was talking with John this afternoon. He said, I'm really not discouraged. He said, I don't like it. And he said, but I feel like I can hit, and I'm just going to keep swinging away.
First pitch to him, a strike to the outside corner, strike 1. Wind up in the pitch. John takes high, 1 ball, 1 strike. He has not had a hit since a single in the first game of the doubleheader in Baltimore. That's 5 games in a row. High fly ball to left. Coasting over for it is the left fielder Nordhagen, and he makes the catch, 2 outs. This brings to bat Dwayne Kuiper. Kuiper's hit safely in 5 straight ball games. Well, Dwayne Kuiper faced Steve Stone here last year on a Monday night, family night ball game with ABC television in town, and socked his only major league home run.
That is right, with Rick Waits pitching for the Indians.
That is right. Wind up, and the pitch to Kuiper. Dwayne takes a strike of the knee, strike 1. Chances of Kuiper duplicating that feat, though, I would think, Herb, have been diminished with that problem he has with his hand. Pitch is low and outside.
Very sore thumb on the left hand.
1 ball and 1 strike. Kuiper at .244, 15 RBIs, chops the ball to the first baseman. Lamar Johnson gets it, steps on the bag, and very quickly Steve Stone disposes of the Tribe in the second inning, 1-2-3. At the end of 2 innings at the stadium, same story, White Sox nothing, Indians nothing.
You know, listening to Major League Baseball on 3WJ is a great way to follow the national pastime. But to really appreciate the game and the players' talents, at least once in a while, you should see a game in person. And those of us at 3WJ would like you to see the exciting Cleveland Indians on us during our Tribe ticket giveaway. All you have to do is send us your name, address, and phone number. And every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during the noon news, we'll draw a name to win 2 tickets to an Indians home game of your choice. If your name is drawn, your ticket's burned to the mail that same day. And we won't stick you out in the left field bleachers, but in box seats, so you'll be right next to the action. To enter, send your name, address, and phone number on a postcard or letter to Tribe Tickets, 3WJ, P.O. Box 373, Johnstown, Ohio, 43031. Again, that's Tribe Tickets, P.O. Box 373, Johnstown, Ohio, 43031. To win 2 box seat tickets to a Cleveland Indians baseball game of your choice. Entries are limited to 1 per week, so enter today and let 3WJ take you out to the ball game.
Well, Tim and Russ from Macedonia are here. Russ Paw and Tim Schmitz I believe that is. Anyway, Tim and Russ from Macedonia are here. Also a belated happy 61st anniversary to Fred and Julia Kwiatek. They had their 61st anniversary on June 2nd. They live in Parma Heights, and they are big Cleveland Indian fans. Also, a nice note from Larry Kennedy, one of the drummers out there in the center field bleachers, along with John Adams. They bang out that Cleveland Indian spirit. That's the way. Says, come on out and join us. No way. Pitch. Strike at the knees to Soderholm. Strike one. Soderholm, the number 9 man in the White Sox order, hitting .214, 3 homers, 18 RBIs. Pitch upon outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. I like the drums at just about this distance, John and Larry. 500 feet. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Curveball rammed up in the air to center field. Manning is out there waiting. Couple of steps to his left makes the catch, and there's 1 away in the 3rd inning. This brings to bat Thad Bosley. Bosley bounced to the 3rd baseman in the 1st inning of play. Left-hand batter. When Herb said this young man can fly, he wasn't kidding. This guy can really scoot. The length of his legs. That's right. He's all legs. Here's the pitch. Bosley takes low, ball 1. We're in the top of the 3rd, of scoreless ball game on family night here at the stadium. Waite looks in, gets the sign. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Bunt, high pop on 1 hop off home plate foul, grabbed by Cassie, and the count is even at 1-1.
Bosley already down past first base when the ball came down.
Minnesota will be in for the weekend. The American League's leading hitter, Rod Carew, will be here Friday night, 7:30. Saturday night is cushion night, a first for the Indians. Each fan 15 and over will be given a comfortable Indian seat cushion with a purchase of a box reserved or general admission seat. And Sunday, the final day of the homestand, game time 2 p.m., and nearly 15,000 employees of General Electric will be here for that contest, representing the largest single group of fans to attend a Tribe game. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Bosley. Strike to the knees. On the scoreboard, happy 20th anniversary to Barb and Ray Keppen, who are celebrating their 20th here tonight. Doesn't look like Barb's been married any more than, 50, 60 years to that guy. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Pitch is a strike at the knee.
Good slider.
Bosley squared the bunt, took it, and that
Looked like he was going to bunt at it.
That's right. 4 strikeouts for Rick Waite. It's an interesting dynamic duo here tonight, Barb and Ray Keppen. Barb's rooting for the Tribe, and Keppen has a mental thing about the White Sox that I've talked about before. They at least are starting the night sitting together. Here's the pitch. Curveball, a strike with an E, strike 1 to Bannister.
Similar to the problem you have with the Cubs?
Yes, only he's deranged. I have a very straightforward approach. Bouncing ball to 3rd. Bell, a quest to Thornton. Bannister is gone, and so are the White Sox in the 3rd inning. 3 up and 3 down. So at the end of 2 1/2 innings of play at the stadium, it is still the White Sox nothing, the Indians nothing.
Hey, you hear about all the great specials at the All Car Wash in Newark? Yeah, Wednesday's Ladies' Day. A wash is only 99 cents with a fill-up and $1.49 without. Thursday is Senior Citizens Day, and a wash with fill-up is just 69 cents and $1.29 without. Hey, listen, Friday is TGIF Day, and Saturday is, you guessed it, Hot Wax Day. Hot wax for just 79 cents. And on your birthday, you get a free car wash. And there's a free vacuum all the time at All Car Wash at 47 South 4th Street in Newark.
Do it any way you want to, but do it in a Dodge from Spitzer Dodge in Columbus. The 1978 Dodge line is the best ever, featuring the new Magnum XE, the totally personal approach to driving excitement. The Magnum XE is your own private island. The most tempting of this year's line is the 78 Dodge Diplomat, a car that fits everyone to a T. And of course, the Dodge fans are in a class by themselves. See them all at Spitzer Dodge, 5100 East Main, Columbus.
Dodge, depend on it.
Riser in the top of the order, Paul Dade against Steve Stone in the home half of the 3rd inning. Hasse hit his second home run of the year yesterday at Milwaukee. He's hitting 197, 2 homers, and 10 runs batted in. Hasse's first home run was off Nolan Ryan here at the stadium on May the 12th. Steve Stone. Back in the old days, not that many years ago, but still several seasons ago, Steve Stone and Thurman Munson made a super battery down at Kent State. Bruce Casket, the coach down there. Well, I tell you, when Ohio U and Bob Wren and the Kent State Golden Flashes got together, you were in for a good weekend of baseball. There's a strike at the knees, strike one. Stone wasting no time, throws again, and strike two. Drops it across the plate of the knees, and Hasse steps back. 0-2 count. In the home half of the third inning, here's the windup by Stone and the pitch to Hasse. He takes high and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Manji and Barrios will go tomorrow night in the windup of this brief 2-game set. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Hasse. Hits a high pop-up third base side. Siderholm backpedaling, but the shortstop Bannister comes over along the foul line, makes the catch in fair ground, and Hasse is out on a pop-up to the shortstop. Tommy Verizor, the Indian shortstop, a right-hand batter. 265 with 1 RBI. You may have wondered if you heard the dugout show tonight when I interviewed Tom, the passing comment and chuckles about Laren LeGros. When I went over to ask Tom if he'd be my guest on the dugout show, Laren LeGros, of course, a teammate of Verizor's in Detroit, made the crack. He says, boy, I tell you, you put Verizor in an interview, all he does is lie. Swing and a miss on the curveball, strike one. And so when Tommy was giving me all that business about the guy slipped coming out of the box and it was a lucky throw, et cetera, I told him everything LeGros said was true. Strike one pitch to Verizor. Check swing, ball hits the bat and bounces foul. Strike two. Tom Verizor has done an outstanding job at shortstop for the Tribe. Hitting 265, which is certainly more than I think anybody expected, and has fielded his position flawlessly, and his arm is one of the best. If you have not seen this kid play ball, you will be surprised when you see him throw the ball. He has a very good arm. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Tommy. Blowing outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're in the home half of the third inning, and the Indians and the White Sox are scoreless. Wind up by Stone, 1-2 pitch to Verizor. Tommy, it's a line drive right to Bannister. 2 outs. Line drive to the shortstop, and it brings on the top of the order, Paul Dade. Dade popped up to the second baseman in the third inning of play. Well, we will see the Sox back in Cleveland on Friday, August the 18th, Saturday, August the 19th. Night games and a single game on Sunday, August the 20th. And we'll be back in Chicago shortly thereafter. Here comes the first pitch to Dade, and Petey wraps the ball by the third baseman into left field, a base hit. Siderholm dove for the ball, couldn't come up with it. And Paul Dade singles. That extends Dade's hitting streak to 6 games in a row. Oh, each team now with 2 base hits. And it brings up Jimmy Norris. Norris flied to left field in the first inning of play. Jimmy stepping back as Dade assumes his lead at first base. Hasse popped to short. Verizor lined to short. And Dade singled to left. Throw to first. Paul back on the bench.
Paul Dade, 8 out of 12 in the stolen in the base department.
Pitch to Verizor, low and outside, ball 1.
This is the first time we've seen Maharodny. I know that the Indians had a scouting report from Danny Carnabelli, so we'll see if they test him.
Stone, the stretch, checks first base. There goes Paul. There's a pitch. Maharodny throws, and Dade is out.
And he has a cannon.
He fired a bullet. And Bannister laid it on Dade going by. So it is no runs, a hit, and nobody left at the end of 3. White Sox nothing, Indians nothing.
3WJ presents the Columbus Jackpot Program. Over $500 in gift certificates for you. A number of people are being called by telephone to receive this fantastic offer. You may be called today. $500 in gift certificates for only $24.95. If you can't wait for that call, phone 868-8595. That's 868-8595. The Columbus Jackpot. It's definitely different. It's differently exciting. It's the kind of club you wish you'd known about sooner. Marco Polo, the super disco for people over 21, with a finest selection of current music and a sound system unconditionally guaranteed to shake your senses and your soul. Every Wednesday night is ladies' night, and happy hour lasts all day. Marco Polo, 1605 West 5th Avenue in Columbus, across from North Star.
Montreal 2, San Diego 1 at the end of 3. The Giants and the Phillies are scoreless after 2, and the Pirates have taken a 1-0 lead on Atlanta at the end of 4 innings of play. Here it's inning number 4 at the stadium, and here's Herb's score.
Thank you, Joe. Hi again, everybody. Chet Lemon will lead it off against Rick Waits. Waits has struck out 4. He has surrendered a pair of base hits. We are scoreless into the 4th inning. Chet Lemon, right-hand hitter, wears number 44 on the back of his navy blue shirt. Umpire Joe Brinkman gives home plate a little dusting. Chet Lemon with a batting average of .304. He has hit 5 home runs with 21 runs batted in. Rick Waits winds it up and he throws. The curve slips inside. Ball 1. Chet Lemon has hit in the last 7 games, and he's had 7 RBIs. There's a strike, popped over the outside corner. 1 ball and a strike. Paul Dade giving him plenty of room on that right field line. Fastball is down too low. Ball 2 and a strike. Wayne Nordhagen, the on-deck batter. Rick Waits checks in for the sign, winds it up. Curveball, swing and a miss. Oh, he's got a good curveball. His curveball is really quick. Throws it with good velocity, and it breaks late. That's why you see so many of these hitters swinging their balls in the dirt, just as that one was. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Minnie Minoso, the coach at first, and what a player he was. Bouncing ball foul behind the plate on the curveball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Minnie Minoso came up with the Cleveland Indians, went to the Chicago White Sox, where he was a fine star, came back to the Indians, and then went back to the White Sox. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Curveball, he misses outside. 3-2. Chet Lemon leading off the 4th inning for the White Sox. Cleveland nothing, the White Sox nothing. Each team with a pair of base hits. The lefty starts his windup, and Lemon backs away. Windup, pitch. Curveball, chop foul, third base side beyond the coach, Bobby Knopp. Memory serves me right. Bobby Knopp was originally out of the Pittsburgh organization, came to the major leagues with the California Angels. Fine defensive player. Good second baseman. 3-2 pitch. Line shot back through the middle into center field. Chet Lemon has his hitting streak go to 8 games. Third hit off Rick Waits brings along Wayne Nordhagen. Nordhagen tapped to the mound his first time up. Right-hand batter. Nordhagen with 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in, a batting average of .264. White Sox as a team at .265 batting average. Waits gives a look to the run of Lemon at first. Foul back off to the right of the screen. Strike 1. Let's see. In the stolen base department, White Sox have pilfered 26 and caught 17 times. Lemon has had 1 out of 5. Pitch out, not going. Ball 1 on a strike. Let's see, we have birthday wish here. Sherry Hines from Avon Lake celebrating a birthday here tonight. The pitch, bouncing ball, third base side, rolls foul. Also, down in Canton, Ohio, at Altman Hospital, Greg Palmer's in the hospital, and a great Indian fan and a great Andy Thornton fan. So, Greg, we hope you get well soon. Speaking of Canton, Ohio, I have a note from our old friend Harry Foster. Keeps informed of various things in the course of the year, and I have a question for Mr. Tate.
Oh, no.
Ball one, strike two. And the pitch not made, throw to first back safely. This is a very easy one. Who hit the first home run in the All-Star game?
Which All-Star game?
In any All-Star game.
The first home run
Ever in an All-Star game. Now, this is not my question. Harry Foster sends all these questions. One ball, two strikes.
Harry, why'd you do this to me?
Foul ball over to the third base dugout, hits the step of the dugout and bounces up in the seats. Harry Foster's a gentleman who every once in a while he writes us a note. If we mix something up on the air, he tells us about it or mentions various little trivia questions.
Who hit the first home run in an All-Star game? Babe Ruth.
You are right. You ought to get a prize for that.
Holy cow.
One ball, two strikes. 1933. Ball one, strike two, and the pitch. Foul fly ball, fair down the right field line. Kuiper racing out. He goes into foul territory, makes the grab. Good play by Kuiper. That ball looked like it was going to be foul. Didn't look like it might stay fair. Thornton going down. He had a bad angle to it. But Kuiper cutting across made the play a step in foul territory. Nordhagen fouls out to Dwayne Kuiper. One gone in the fourth inning with Lemon at first base, and we'll see Lamar Johnson. He rifled a single into right field his first time up. You know where Harry gets all these questions?
Where?
They're on the front and back of, little sugar packs you get like in restaurants for putting your coffee and things.
Yeah?
They have question and answers on the front and the back. That's pretty good. Check on the runner. Here's the pitch. Lamar Johnson bounces to short. Grabbed by Verizon, bobbles the ball, picks it up, he throws, and safe at first base. Tom Verizon had the ball, he lost it, he picked it up, and his throw is not in time. He will be charged with an error. Tom Verizon gets the error. You don't see that very often. He's a very steady-handed shortstop. E6 if you're scoring with us. Runners at first and at second. One man out, the batter will be Naharodny, Bill Naharodny. He's 6'2", about 190 pounds. Born in Detroit, now makes his home in Clearwater, Florida. He's just 24 years old. He's out of the Philly organization. Waits with two men on, one man down. Checks to the runner at first and at second, and Waits backs off. Chet Lemon at second has pretty good speed. Lamar Johnson, the runner at first. Pitch is inside and low, ball one. No score in this game. We're in the fourth inning. George Order on deck. Foul ball sliced down to the right at a play. Sails into the upper deck, bounces around, and goes downstairs. One ball and a strike. Rick Waits pulls on the bill of his cap, looks in for the sign. Meanwhile, George Order loosening up in the on-deck circle with that lead donut up on the barrel of the bat. Now Waits leans down to touch up the sack of rosin as Naharodny backs away. Time call. Waits is going to visit with Ron Hasse. He may be having a little difficulty with the signs. The runner at second base, you use a different set of signs. And Rick Waits wants to be absolutely certain that they're working with the same signs. You have various switches that the catcher uses, hopes to confuse the opposition. And you're much better off calling a meeting to be certain than throwing a pitch and have the catcher crossed up. ball and a strike. Narodny, a right-hand batter, deep in the batter's box, open stance. Check to the runner at second base. There's the pitch. Line drive, left field. Going back is Grubb. Still going back. It's over his head. He can't get it against the wall. 1 run in. Here comes Lamar Johnson right behind the first man, racing for the plate, and he'll make it easily. Lamar Johnson broke with the crack of the bat. He was certain that Grubb couldn't get it, and he was running about 5 steps behind Lemon. Narodny with a double over the head of Johnny Grubb drives in 2 runs, makes it a 2-0 game. One of those runs will be unearned. Well, we've seen, Joe, that Bill Narodny has a fine throwing arm. We've also seen that he can line that ball with some power. Here's George Orta, struck out swinging his first time up, left-hand batter. Curve ball inside, ball 1. Narodny's double over the head of Johnny Grubb, a line shot, hit right at the base of the wall in left field. On deck, Junior Moore. Curve is inside, 2-0. Rick waits. At the belt. Checks on the runner. He throws. Curve ball inside again. 3 in a row, almost the same spot. Bobby Hannix comes to the front of the Indian dugout, shouts something out to Rick. All 3, no strikes. Plenty of room down that right field line. Fastball is over but high, ball 4. That puts runners at first and at second. With a man out here in the 4th inning, Chicago has scored twice. First walk issued by Waits, and out to the mound for Chet goes the manager, Jeff Torborg. Jeff visiting with Dwayne Kuiper, as well as Hasse and Waits. Indians will take on the White Sox again tomorrow night. Game time back to the normal starting time of 7:35. Sid Monge will be working against Francisco Barrios. A couple of fellows were born in Mexico. Don't forget now, next Sunday, this coming Sunday, I should say, with the Minnesota Twins in town, it's GE Employee Day. Over 15,000 GE employees will be here, and if you work for GE and you don't have your tickets, go out and get them this week. Could be the biggest individual night they've ever had here at the stadium. Standing in, Junior Moore. Runners at first and at second. Junior's first time up went swinging. 1 man down. Waits, checks on the runners. Here's his pitch. Fastball, zipped it over the inside corner above the knees. Good fastball by Rick. Infield shortened up about a half, well, maybe a full step, hoping for double play ball. On deck, Eric Soderholm. High drive, right field. Back a few steps. Now in a step is Dade. He makes the grab. Tag at second, racing for third. The throw is cut off. Sliding in at third is Narodny. 2 men are down. Runners at first and at third. We'll see Eric Soderholm will fly into center field his first time up. Soderholm, a right-hand batter. He was with the Minnesota Twins, had some knee surgery, and White Sox took a chance on him. He played out his free agency, and he responded extremely well last year for the White Sox. Soderholm last season batted .280. Foul ball off to the right of home plate, strike 1. He played on 130 games last year with the White Sox. He had 25 home runs, 67 RBIs. Missed the entire 1976 season with an injury. One strike. Runners at first and at third lead away. The pitch. Swing and a miss on the changeup. Good changeup by Rick Waite. Strike 2. White Sox have scored 2 here in the 4th inning. They have taken a 2-0 lead. And we'll send the station break along very shortly. 2-strike pitch. Missed outside, not by very much. Ball 1. Tried to hit the outside corner down around the knees with a fastball and just missed. Ball, I think, was above the knees, but just off the corner. Ball 1, strike 2. Curveball, chopped foul, rolls out in front of the plate. That one's off the foot of Soderholm. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Cleveland Indians Baseball Network.
This is 3WJ, Central Ohio's home to the Cleveland Cavaliers, Browns, and Indians. WWJ Johnstown.
That foul tip off his left foot or instep, and he's in some pain, but he's standing back in. Ball 1, strike 2. Rick waits with runners at first and at third, 2 men down. Curveball again fouled off, and this may have hit him on the foot again. Oh, it did. It has to hurt. 2 strikes. Ball 1 on Eric Soderholm. Thad Bosley on deck. Rick waits, trying to get Soderholm to end this inning. Ground ball sharply hit. Buddy Bell backhanded near the foul line. The long throw, he gets him at first. Good play by Buddy. In the 4th inning, 2 runs for the White Sox. They get it with 2 hits, an error, making one of the runs unearned. They leave a pair in the middle of inning number 4. The score, Chicago 2 and Cleveland nothing.
Get around, folks. Get around. Like my sign says, it's Trader John's Traveling Emporium, the general store on wheels. Trader John's wagon has everything and the best of everything. Just smell this soap, little lady. And for you, sir, hand tools, handguns, and the finest fresh chewing tobacco. That'll be mail pouch chewing tobacco, gentlemen.
The story of a great American tradition, mail pouch chewing tobacco. Mail pouch was America's first brand of leaf tobacco, and it's been pleasing men ever since. That's because mail pouch has its own special, one-of-a-kind flavor that comes from over 90 years' experience in giving tobacco chewers what they want. A clean, fresh taste that's not too strong, but isn't too sweet either. A flavor that really lasts and satisfies a man all day long. So if you haven't tried mail pouch lately, chew a few packs and taste the mail pouch difference. You'll see why it's become a tradition to chew mail pouch. And treat yourself to the best.
We move now to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Norris, Bell, and Thornton against Steve Stone. The Indians trail 2-0.
Fielder's choice.
James Seeley is having a birthday today. He's 82 years young. He's been an Indian fan for well over 40 years. His daughter, Eleanor Seeley, sent us a note. He says even though he's 82 years old, he still gets down to the stadium many times when his son-in-law brings him. So, James Seeley, we wish you a very happy number 82. Here's Jimmy Norris. Jim flied to left field his only time up, left-hand batter. Stone, the right-hander, throws the curve. He gets it over the inside corner. Strike 1.
Okay, Herb. Here's a gentleman in Kent who says you're doing it wrong.
Okay. I'll read this. Curveball too low. Oh, he doesn't like the way we get. It's a beautiful day for baseball, then, right? All right. There's a strike over the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, I can't please everybody. In my case, I usually please nobody. Ball 1, strike 2. And the pitch. Fastball is high and away, 2-2.
Something we did get in the mail. Remember the other day we were talking about the most runs in a game in the modern era of baseball?
Ground ball, first base side, picked off by the First baseman Johnson runs to the bag. He gets there ahead of Jim Norris, and there's one gone in the fourth inning. Yes, I recall. Go ahead.
Charlie Wright from over in Ada, Ohio, sent us a copy of that picture. Williams standing there looking at that old scoreboard. The final score on that game was the Boston Red Sox 29, the St. Louis Browns 4. Al Zarilla had 4 doubles. Clyde Vollmer faced the pitcher 8 times in 8 innings.
Buddy Bell stands in. He gets the strike over the outside corner. Buddy is 1 for 1 in the game. His batting average now at .313. Ground ball sharply hit to the third baseman. Picked off by Soderholm. Throws across and he gets him. 2 up, 2 down. Okay.
May 13th, 1950. The Browns that day had a lineup of Lenhart, Kokos, Lawler, Moss, Severs, Arft, Friend, Upton, Thomas, Fannin, Garver, Marshall, Schacht, and Ferrick. Boy, does that bring back some memories.
Sure does. Here's Andy Thornton, the American League's Player of the Week, to stand in. Andre popped up to the shortstop down the left field line his first time up. Steve Stone throws. The slide is low. Ball 1. Andre with a batting average of .261. He has hit 9 home runs and 31 runs batted across. Steve Stone and the White Sox lead it 2-0. We're in the fourth inning. Curve, he slips it over the inside corner. What about the Red Sox lineup in that game?
Clyde Vollmer, Johnny Pesky, Ted Williams, Vern Stevens, Walt Dropo, Al Zarilla, Bobby Dorr, Matt Batts, and Chuck Stotts.
Ball 1 and a strike. 26 runs, huh?
29.
29. Oh. How many hits? Curveball inside.
They had
2 balls and a strike.
29 runs, 28 hits. St. Louis had 4 runs on 8 hits.
What was the time of the game?
2 hours and 42 minutes.
Wasn't too bad.
Right.
2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. Up too high. 3-1 to Andy. 2 men gone. Fourth inning.
Boston got 8 in the second, 5 in the third, 7 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 2 in the seventh, and 5 in the eighth.
3 balls a strike. Wind up by Stone. He delivers. Up too high. Andy Thornton gets the walk. That is the first walk allowed by Stone. Indians have had 2 hits off him. A single by Bell in the second, a single by Dade in the third. And missed their third base runner.
One more item about that game, Herb. That was adding insult to injury. It was June 8th, and on June 7th, Boston had beaten the Browns 20-4.
Oh. Catches and batting averages took a jump those 2 days.
It was June 8th, 1950.
Rick Manning stands in. Takes a slider low and away. Ball 1. Manning bounced to the second baseman his only time up. Rick batting at .248. Manning up fairly close to home plate. Feet close together. Ground ball, shortstop side, takes a big high hop. Bannister grabs it, flips to order at second base, and the side retires. Ball took a big high hop. Bannister had to leap up. He grabbed it. Came down, flipping it to second. 6-4 on the force out. Indians fourth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, a walk and a man left. And the 4 innings here in the stadium, the score. The Chicago White Sox 2, the Cleveland Indians nothing.
The day is done. It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind. So just say bud. And pour the king of beer and settle back and please yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of blood is like an easy chair. When you say Budweiser, you said it all. When you say Budweiser, you said it all. When you say Budweiser, you said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
For the White Sox, the 5th inning rolls around. The top of the batting order, Bosley, Bannister, and Lemon. White Sox leading it 2-0. Have a note here from the base bells. They're planning another trip to Toronto this time, June 30th and July 1st. Cost of the trip $55 if you remember, $65 a non-member. You'll stay at the Royal York Hotel. Accommodations are double rooms. Price includes a bus, room, and 2 game tickets. Leave downtown Friday, June 30th. Let's get this pitch in. A strike over the inside corner to Bosley. He is 0 for 2. Grounded out and struck out. I'll tell you more about that baseball trip when we have a little chance here. Time called. Rick started his windup. Bosley backed away. White Sox lead it 2-0. They scored 2 in the 4th inning. Waits delivers. Sidearm curve, a swing and a miss. Two strikes. The windup. Waits throws again a sidearm curve. This one is inside as Bosley leans back. Ball 1, strike 2. 357 Bosley's batting average. He was sent to the minor leagues for a while, called back just recently. Left-hand hitter with plenty of speed. Just missed outside with that curveball down around the knees. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. We're in the 5th inning. 2-0 White Sox. Curveball, line to right field. Coming on his day, he picks it off. Nice play by Paul down around the knees. He grabbed that line drive. 1 up, 1 down in the 5th inning. Going to be Al Bannister. Okay, let's get this information to you on that baseball trip. You leave downtown Friday, June 30th at 9:15 a.m. Arrive in Toronto in time for dinner and check in before going to the game at 7:30. After the game, you'll have a wine and cheese party back at your hotel. Have Saturday breakfast, brunch, or lunch as you prefer. Take in some shopping. Go to the ball game at 2 o'clock. And then you'll be bussing back, arriving about midnight July 1st. Pretty good trip for you. Strike 1 to Al Bannister. Bouncy ball, third base side, going to roll foul. If you're interested in that Toronto trip with the Basebells, June 30th and July 1st, call 886-4963. Joyce Rowe is the contact for the Basebells. We'll have some fun. 2 strikes on Al Bannister. 1 gone here in inning number 5. Fastball, strike 3 called over the outside corner. Good pitch by the left-hander. He drilled that outside corner above the knees. Bannister called out, and that's 5 strikeouts for Rick Waits. White Sox lead 2-0. Here's Chet Lemon. He started the 4th inning with a line single to center, and he scored the first run of the game. He is 1 for 2, and he has an 8-game hitting streak. Batting average at .309. Right-hand hitter looks at the curve, bouncing inside, ball 1. Rick Waits, the left-handed, delivers. Inside with a changeup, it's 2-0. Tomorrow night, 7:30, we'll be right back here with you, and the Indians taking on the Chicago White Sox. Barrios and Manji. Fastball down too low, 3-0. Rick Waits, in addition to his 5 strikeouts, he's walked 1. Indian left-hander marches back up on top. On deck batter, Wayne Nordhagen. Fastball fired over the inside part of the plate, a strike. Good fastball by Waits. He really cut that one. He popped it. 3-1. Fastball, strike 2. This time waist high over the outside portion of the plate. 3-2. Curveball bounced past the mound. Coming on, Dwayne Kuiper. He gloves it. Throws the first to get him. Lemon retired, and so the White Sox. 1-2-3 in the 5th inning. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. We go to the last half of inning number 5. The score: the White Sox 2, the Indians nothing.
You know, listening to Major League Baseball on 3WJ is a great way to follow the national pastime. But to really appreciate the game and the players' talents, at least once in a while, you should see a game in person. And those of us at 3WJ would like you to see the exciting Cleveland Indians on us during our Tribe Ticket Giveaway. All you have to do is send us your name, address, and phone number. And every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during the noon news, we'll draw a name to win 2 tickets to an Indians home game of your choice. If your name is drawn, your tickets go into the mail that same day. And we won't stick you out in the left field bleachers, but in box seats, so you'll be right next to the action. To enter, send your name, address, and phone number on a postcard or letter to Tribe Tickets, 3WJ, P.O. Box 373, Johnstown, Ohio, 43031. Again, that's Tribe Tickets, P.O. Box 373, Johnstown, Ohio, 43031. To win 2 box seat tickets to a Cleveland Indians baseball game of your choice. Entries are limited to 1 per week, so enter today and let 3WJ take you out to the ball game.
We go now into the Indians half of the 5th inning with Grubb, Kuyper, Hasse coming along. The Indians will try and generate some business against Steve Stone and the White Sox. The Indians have had 2 hits. The White Sox have 4, and the White Sox have the only 2 runs of the game. And we'll check the scoreboard while we're waiting for things to get ready here. This afternoon, the Cubs beat Houston 2-1. Tonight in the National League, San Diego's at Montreal. Montreal 2, the Padres 1. They've played 4. In Philadelphia, it's the Giants 1, the Phillies nothing at the end of 4. Vida Blue against Steve Carlton. A couple of pretty fair left-handers, and Willie McCovey hit his 5th home run of the year, and that's the difference in the game. Johnny Grubb looks at a fastball outside, ball 1. Atlanta at Pittsburgh, Pirates 1, Braves nothing after 5. Inside with a slider, 2-0. The Dodgers lead the Mets 3-2, and they've played 3 innings at New York. Cincinnati, St. Louis scoreless after an inning and a half. Fastball high and outside, 3-0. Johnny Grubb backs away to check with Joe Nosek. Grubb fly to left, his only time up. Inside, ball 4 on 4 pitches. Grubb gets the walk. Second walk allowed by Stone. That brings to the plate Dwayne Kuyper, who bounced to the first baseman. We mentioned this at the outset of the game, but if you didn't tune in, only 3 umpires working tonight. Brinkman at the plate, Dale Ford at first, Nick Bremigan at the third base side, and now with the runner at first, Bremigan moves over behind second base. A bunt try, third base side foul. And with Bremigan on the middle of the diamond, it's up to Joe Brinkman to call all the balls down the left field line. Normally, when they have your 4 umpires, the home plate umpire takes charge of calling the ball fair or foul until he gets to the base. Beyond the base umpire takes over. 1 strike pitch. A bunt try, foul back on the screen, strike 2. Dwayne Kuyper not bunting for the sacrifice. He's trying to drop it down and beat it out. Indians trail 2-0. We're in the 5th. On deck is Ron Hasse. Stone ready, he delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on a fastball down around the knees. Stone gets his first strikeout. 1 gone and brings up Ron Hasse. Ron pops to the shortstop, his only time up. Hasse, very solid, strong individual. Hasse about 6'2", right around 200 pounds. 25 years old. From Tucson, Arizona. Takes the strike at the knees. One strike, 1 man down. Grubb leading at first. Slider over the outside part of the plate, strike 2. Steve Stone gets out in front quickly. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball blew it right by him. Steve Stone, with that little extra, really fired that one. Your Hassey, a strikeout victim. 2 strikeouts in a row for Stone, his first 2 of the game. And now it's up to Tom Bereiser. Tommy lined out to the shortstop his first time up. He has been hitting the ball very, very well the last couple of days. Big gap on the right side. Looks at a slider, catching the inside part of the plate, waist high. Steve Stone throwing nothing but strikes. In the dirt, nice stop by Naharodny. 1 ball, 1 strike. All Dade on deck. He has one of the 2 Indian hits. The hit by Buddy Bell. Bereiser choking the bat up a couple of inches. Rub leads from first. The pitch. Strike at the knees, outside part of the plate. Good fastball. Looks like Stone's a little sneaky with that fastball. He throws a lot of sliders, off-speed pitches, and he throws that fastball. It's up on you in a hurry. Stone on the grass back of the mound. He's blowing on his hand. Now comes on top. He's got Rosensack perched on the back of the mound, but stays away from him. 1-2 pitch. Up too high. Tom started to go and held back. 2-2. 261 the batting average for Tom Bereiser. In right field, they have pulled Bosley in fairly shallow. In the dirt. Another nice stop by Naharodny. All 3, strike 2. 2 men out. 5th inning, 2-0 White Sox. And with Grubb at first, he'll be moving on the pitch. Steve Stone. Checks the runner. There he goes. High pop, right side. George Orta starts back to the outfield grass. Now comes in on the skin part of the infield. The second baseman has it. The Indians are out in the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. A walk and a man left. We have played 5 in Cleveland. The score: White Sox 2, Indians nothing.
Do it any way you want to, but do it in a Dodge from Spitzer Dodge in Columbus. The 1978 Dodge line is the best ever, featuring the new Magnum XE, the totally personal approach to driving excitement. The Magnum XE is your own private island. The most tempting of this year's line is the 78 Dodge Diplomat, a car that fits everyone to a T. And of course, the Dodge vans are in a class by themselves. See them all at Spitzer Dodge, 5100 East Main, Columbus.
Dodge, depend on it.
National Lampoon presents True Facts. Authentic, documented, we kid you not, strictly on the up and up, verified, absolutely the real thing, honest to goodness, unadulterated.
And now the True Facts are yours, Monday through Friday nights at 11:55, right here on 3WJ Mellow Rock 103.
We go now into the 6th inning with the White Sox holding a 2-0 edge over the Indians. Nordhagen, Johnson, and Naharodny will face Rick Waite. One of the 2 runs surrendered by Rick was unearned. Coming up the rest of this week, tomorrow night, White Sox here at 7:35. Wednesday, we have our first twilight doubleheader of the year. The Toronto Blue Jays will be in town. And over the weekend, the Minnesota Twins, Friday night. And the first Saturday night game of the year will be Cushion night. And it's 7:35 game time. All fans coming in, 50 and over. Got a very nice, attractive seat cushion, and I might say it's comfortable also. And for those of you who don't have the extra padding that some of us have, that cushion really come in handy. I'll tell you one thing that cushion is good for. It may not be the reason they give it. It's this pitch in. Bouncing ball fouled at home plate off the catcher, Ron Hassey, strike 1. Well, you do a lot of work around the yard and look for something to kneel down on when you're pulling those weeds. Those cushions are really great for that. So come out here Saturday night, get one of those cushions. 1 strike pitch. Fastball is over the inside corner, strike 2. Then on Sunday, 15,000 GE employees will be here. That'll be the largest individual group to ever attend an Indian game. It's Sunday at 2 o'clock against the Minnesota Twins. Rod Carew and that company. 2 strikes. Wind up. The pitch. Nordhagen swings, chops it toward short. Picked up by Verizon. Rifles it across. Wayne Nordhagen is down 6-3 on the out. 1 gone in the 6th inning. And the batter now will be Lamar Johnson. He has singled and been safe on an error. Rick Waits has given up 2 runs on 4 hits, one of those runs unearned. In the 4th inning, Lemon singled. Nordhagen fouled to the catcher, or to the second baseman. And Johnson was safe on Verizon's error. Now Rodney doubled over the left fielder's head against the wall, driving in 2 runs, and that's the story of the game. Strike over the inside corner.
Henry Cruz, an outfielder, warming up in the White Sox bullpen.
Johnson, a powerful individual. 4 home runs, 22 RBIs. .231 is batting average. Right-hand batter. 1 strike to him. Stands back in. Now backs away. Wind up and the pitch. Check swing. The curve dips below the strike zone. Good curveball, but just a little low. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 pitch. Change up is outside. 2 balls and a strike. Rick Waits goes back to the top of the pitching rubber. Turns and looks for the sign. 2-1 delivery. Fastball catching the inside corner, strike. 2-2. Rick Waits working very rapidly. It's been his pattern this year, and he says it's helped him. 2-2 pitch. Curve, it is just a bit outside. Curveball breaking from the outside part of the plate in, and just stayed off the corner. Waits thought he had a strike. He kicked some dirt down in the front end of the pitching mound. 3-2. Lamar Johnson, wide stance, fairly close to home plate. Curveball chopped toward short. Buddy Bell cuts in front, but Verizon has it, throws and gets him. Buddy Bell cutting to his left, almost screened Tommy off, but Tommy grabbed the ball and threw him out. 6-3 on the out. 2 up, 2 down on ground balls for the shortstop. And the batter, right hand hitting, Bill Naharodny. He doubled to the base of the wall in left field, driving home 2 runs. Naharodny with 19 RBIs on the year. Ground ball, shortstop again, picked up by Verizon. Throws across. 3 ground balls, 3-6-3 plays. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. Rick Waits has now retired the last 8 men in a row. Going to the last half of the 6th inning, the score, the Chicago White Sox 2, the Cleveland Indians nothing. We have a defensive change for the White Sox in the last half of the 6th inning. Thad Bosley goes from right field into center. Chet Lemon is out of the game, and Henry Cruz is in right field. On the scoreboard, the Los Angeles Dodgers, who have been having their problems, are venting some of their frustration at the expense of the New York Mets. The Dodgers scored 3 in the second after the Mets scored 2 in the first. The Dodgers have just hit the Mets with 5 runs in the 4th inning, but the Mets batting in the 4th. It's 8-2 Dodgers. Atlanta Braves scored 3 times in the 6th inning, and they hold a 3-2 edge over the Pirates at the end of 6. The Giants 2, Phillies nothing after 5. Vida Blue and Steve Carlton hooked up. It's Montreal 2, San Diego 1. They've played 5 in Montreal. And at St. Louis tonight, Tom Seaver against Bob Forsch, a pretty good matchup. And no score at the end of 2.5. This afternoon, the Cubs hold their first place lead. 2-1, they took the Houston Astros. Paul Dade stands in. He's 1 for 2 in the game. Batting average, the ball up over the 280 mark. Flying a low and away ball 1. He's hitting at 281. Steve Stone has allowed the Indians 2 hits. One of those by Paul Dade gets a fastball strike over the inside part of the plate. Ball 1 and a strike. 1-1 delivery. Curve is hit right back through the middle and backhanded by Order off his glove into center field. Order made a great try for the ball. He shot a glove on it behind second base at the outfield grass. Even if he had picked it up, there was no way he could have thrown out Paul Dade. And Dade, with his second hit of the game, third for the Indians with nobody out. Indians a runner at first, and the batter, Jim Norris. Jimmy has flied to left, bounced to first. Scoreboard, every time we come back, they've added some animation to it. Really a treat for the fans. Norris sitting at 266. There goes Dade. The pitch is line foul down the left field side, and it'll be out of play in the bullpen area. Paul Dade running, and Jim Norris fouling it down the left field line. In the third inning, Paul tried to steal second base, and he was cut down on a good throw by the catcher, Bill Narodny. Spelled Narodny, N-A-H-O-R-D-N-Y. Chet Lemon left the game when he suffered a pulled groin muscle. Watching him run to first base, and he grounded out in the fifth inning, and he was limping. One strike. The pitch. In the dirt. Nice stop by Narodny. One ball, one strike. The Indians trail the White Sox 2-0 here in the sixth inning. Dade at first and nobody out. Throw over that way. He gets back just in time. Quick throw by Stone. Stone has that short arm motion, and he gets rid of the ball very quickly. Well, Dade asks for time, gets up, walks over to dust himself off and visit with Rocky. Ball on a strike. There goes Dade. High pop, shortstop side. Bannister going back. Dade heading back to first. Bannister takes it a step onto the outfield grass. Norris pops to the shortstop. One gone, and the batter, Buddy Bell. Buddy has singled. He has bounced to third. Buddy having himself just a very fine, solid year. .311 batting average. 2 home runs, 21 runs batted in, and playing defensively. Just a superb job at third base. Throw to first, back safely. Buddy, very erect stance, slightly closed. Takes a strike with a slider over the inside corner, let high. Strike one. Big gap in center field for Buddy. The room down that right field line. Ground ball, third base side, going to be foul. Picked off in the coaching box by Joe Nosick. Steve Stone out in front, 2 strikes, and that's been his pattern all night long. He's getting out in front quickly. Paul Dade stepping off to a lead at first. Fastball, strike 3, called at the knees. Buddy Bell looking back to umpire Brinkman. He doesn't like it, but he has been called out. Fastball knee-high over the outside corner. Third strikeout for Stone. They've come 2 in the 5th and 1 here in the 6th. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Andre, who hit 3 home runs over the weekend, stands in. 9 home runs, 31 RBIs. Batting average .261. Fastball, strike to the outside part of the plate, waist high. 1 strike. Paul Dade easing away from first. 2-0 White Sox. Pitch. Bouncing ball, foul behind the plate. Strike 2, and once again, Stone right out in front, 2 strikes.
Look where Nordhagen is playing.
Nordhagen gets any deeper, we'll have to get him a ticket. He is on the edge of the warning pad, and I'd say, Joe, he's no more than what, 25 feet from the foul line?
About right.
Two strikes. Outside with a slider, ball 1, strike 2.
He hits one down the right field line. It's going to be a track meet.
Stone goes on the grass, blows on his hand, rubs up the baseball. They have the right fielder, Cruz, almost in, well, he is in right center. I've seen center fielders play that far over. Stone switches a couple of signs. And Andre asks for time and gets it. Stone now with the sign. 1-2 pitch. Outside as he shot for that outside corner with his fastball and missed. 2-2. Well, he pitches him out there, and Andre goes with that pitch and drives it down the right field line. He will run until he's out of breath. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outside again, 3-2. Stone trying to shave that outside part of the plate, and he's just missing. 3-2, and in this pitch, it'll be Paul Dade off and running. 2 men out, 6th inning. White Sox leading 2-0. They scored both times in the 4th inning. Page goes. High foul down the left field line. That'll be back and out of play. And we'll do it again. 3-2. Andre Thornton smoothing some dirt around in the batter's box. And he steps back in. Andre asking for time. Stone making him wait, and he doesn't want to be frozen in that box. Three and 2. Dade will be going. Stone takes a long time when he has that hitter waiting in that box. Keeps switching signs. Andre's flipping the bat back and forth. 3-2 pitch. High ball 4. The Indians, for the first time tonight, have 2 men on at the same time. Runners at first and at second with 2 men out. And Rick Manning the batter. Dade at second, Thornton at first. Scoreboard has 4 Indian characters on the thing, and they have them marching across the scoreboard. I guess that's doing a war dance, huh?
I think so, yes.
First pitch to Manning. Curve, and he drops it over the outside part of the plate, a strike. I'll tell you about Steve Stone. He has had really good control tonight. He's been nipping those corners, and he's getting breaking pitches off his curve and a slider. 1 strike pitch. Fastball, foul back. Hits the glass of the press box and bounces down. Actually, the glass of the end booth that's in the press box level. 2 strikes. On almost all occasions, Stone is right out in front of the hitters. 2 strikes immediately. 2 strike pitch. Swing and a foul back. Just got a piece of it. Let a high fastball. And it's foul back on the screen. Strike 2 to Rick Manning. Dade at second. Thornton at first. They represent the possible tying run. 2-0 White Sox here in the 6th. Stone has walked 2. He has struck out 3. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And Stone has now struck out 4 batters. In the inning for the Tribe, no runs. They had a hit. There were no errors. They leave a pair. We have played 6 here in the stadium. The score, Chicago 2, Cleveland nothing.
Only the rich can afford to buy elsewhere. That's a little slogan that I've made up. This is Dave Smith of Dave Smith Ford. And that is right. Only the rich can afford to buy elsewhere because we will save you money on a new Ford, car, or truck. We have a very fine selection of used cars also at this time. We need more used cars, so if you do have a used car or especially a used truck you want to trade, bring on over to us because we do need them. Dave Smith Ford, halfway between Columbus and Newark.
Take a day to see Schomburn Village, Ohio's first town. Interpreters in 18th century dress dip beeswax candles, spin yarn, weave baskets and mats, and farm the land in this log cabin restoration. Explore Schomburn Village in New Philadelphia. It's open 7 days a week.
Top half of the seventh inning, and the Indians trail the White Sox 2-0 as Steve Stone has bested Rick Waite to this point of the ball game. On the scoreboard, the Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals are tied up 1-1 with the Cardinals batting in the fourth. That's Tom Seaver against Bob Porsche. Dodgers 8-3 over the Mets after 4. Atlanta 3-2 over the Pirates in the eighth. The Giants 2-0 over the Phillies in the eighth behind Vida Blue. McCovey and Evans have homered for the Giants. San Diego and Montreal are 2-2 in the seventh. This afternoon, the Cubs beat Houston 2-1 with a run in the ninth. Here's the windup of the first pitch to the left-hand batting George Orta, a curveball, strike one. Orta has struck out and walked in 2 previous trips. The big blow of the ball game, Bill Naharodny's 2-run double in the fourth inning. Windup and the pitch. Orta takes low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Thornton at first, Kuiper at second, Verizor at short, Bell at the cut of the grass at third. 1-1 pitch to Orta, swing and a miss on the curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Grubb in left, Manning in center, Date in right, Hasse catching, and left-hander Rick Waite's in the mound. Bobby Knopp coaching at third, Minnie Minoso at first. 1-2 pitch to Orta, Steve right 3 on the curveball. This time, Orta is called out on strikes. That is the 6th strikeout for Waite. He has walked 1. Junior Moore, he has struck out and flied to right. It is a 2-0 White Sox lead on 4 hits. The Indians with 3 hits and an error. That error made one of the runs unearned in the fourth inning. Now the baseball will be examined as Junior Moore asked for it. Joe Brinkman looks it over and says, by golly, it's a baseball, and sends it back out to Rick Waite. Here's the windup by Waite, and now Moore steps back. A single by Lemon, an error, and a double by Naharodny made it 2-0 in the fourth. Pitch to Moore. Outside, ball 1. Indians had a run around in the first, a run around in the third, run around in the fourth, 1 more in the fifth, 2 on in the sixth. There's a shot to left field off the bat of Moore. Cut off on the warning path by Johnny Grubb. Long throw, and Moore puts the brakes on and goes back. Good fielding by Johnny Grubb in left field. Moore lined a smash into left. Grubb raced over, caught up with the ball, and his throw back in held Moore at first base. That's 5 hits off Waite. Eric Soderholm has flied to center field, bounced to third. A good play there by Buddy Bell. Right-hand batter. Waite leans in for the sign. The stretch. And the pitch to Soderholm. He bounces the ball to third. Bell over to second. 1 back to first. Double play. 5-4-3 on the twin killing. The Indians turning over their 40th double play of the year. And in the 7th inning, it's no runs and a hit with nobody left thanks to the double play. And we have now played 6 1/2 innings at the stadium. And the score remains the same. As you Indian fans, wherever you happen to be on this Monday night, get up on your feet for the 7th inning stretch. The White Sox 2 and the Indians nothing.
Whenever it's time for the great game of baseball, when do you say? Whenever the ump tells the players to play ball, after a double play, a pitch hit that saves the day. Anytime's the right time to say it. When do you say? Budweiser, what's the beer for any time at all? After a long home run, after the game is won, King of Beers is waiting for your call. When you say Budweiser, when you say yeah, baseball, when you say Budweiser, you get it all. You get it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
In the home half of the 7th inning, Grubb, Kuiper, and Hasse will test Steve Stone, who has certainly been equal to the test thus far. Stone has struck out 4, walked 3, and given up 3 hits. John Grubb has flied to left and walked in 2 trips. Wind up by Stone on the pitch, and Johnny fouls it back. Strike 1. This is the home half of the 7th. The White Sox are leading 2-0. They've out hit the Indians 5-3. Stone goes back behind the mound. Now comes back up. Looks for the sign. Pulls on the bill of his cap. Winds up, and here's the strike 1 pitch. Grubb takes low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Johnson at first. Orta at second. Bannister at short. Sonnerholm at third. Wind up, and the 1-1 pitch to Johnny Grubb. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball, 1-2. Nordhagen in left, Bosley in center, Cruz in right. Now Rodney catching, and on the mound, right-hander Steve Stone. In front of the home folks tonight and doing a job. Looks, gets the sign, wants to see some more, and then winds the 1-2 pitch to Grubb. High fly ball, center field. Bosley drifting back on this one. Has the room and the ball. Grubb flies to center field. There's 1 out of the 7th inning. And the batter is Dwayne Kuiper. And Kuiper is being called back. Dwayne has bounced to the first baseman and struck out. Kuiper will not bat against Stone here in the 7th inning of play. Larvell Blanks will.
With a left-hand hitter coming, why are they making the change? But what's happened, Kuiper has a very bad thumb on his left hand. In fact, it was so sore today that you could not even touch it. It's a nerve that was jammed or something. It's all swollen, and he can put no pressure whatsoever on it. And I'm sure that's why they take him out for the pinch hitter.
So Blanks will pinch hit in the 7th inning of play, and then, in all probability, stay on to play at second base. And Larvell in a pinch hitting assignment this year, one previous time, zip for 1. Indian pinch hitters as a group hitting 171 with 1 RBI on the year. Larvell hitting 224 with 11 runs batted in. Right-hand batter. Here's the windup and the first pitch to Blanks. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Larvell was property of the White Sox very briefly.
Passed through their offices is about all by way of paperwork. Amazing how Steve Stone has stayed ahead of the hitters tonight. He's been ahead of every batter.
Here's the windup of the strike 1 pitch. Blanks takes strike 2, knee high on the outside corner.
Every time you look up, there's 2 strikes on the hitter.
Ron Hasse waiting on deck. Blanks ready. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It is a fastball outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Joe Nosek coaching at third. Rocky at first. The batter is Larvell Blanks. 1-2 pitch to Blanks. Larvell takes high and inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sox are here tomorrow night. That'll be Barrios against Sid Manji. Wednesday night, the Blue Jays in town for a twilight doubleheader. Thursday, an open day, and the Twins are in for the weekend. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Blanks. Swing and a chop foul off the curveball. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. White Sox 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. The Indians no runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. Stone looks in, gets the sign. Here's the windup and the 2-2 pitch. There's a fastball, a little low, 3-2. Now the windup and the payoff pitch to Larvell Blanks. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Well, Blanks strikes out. That's the 5th strikeout for Steve Stone. Stone has now worked 75 innings this year with 44 strikeouts. Ron Hasse has popped to short and struck out swinging. Tom Verizor on deck. Stone looks in, gets the sign from Naharodny. Winds up and delivers. High, ball 1. Tomorrow night's game will be starting at the normal 7:35 time. This one a half hour later tonight due to national TV. Low and outside to Hasse. The count is 2-0. One of the few men that he has been behind the count on. Stone ready with the 2-0 pitch. Ronnie takes his strike above the knees of the outside corner, 2-1. Again, Steve Stone is ready. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Hasse. Curveball, rides high, and the count is 3-1. Stone walked Thornton in the 4th. He walked Thornton again in the 6th, and he walked Grubb one time. 3-1 pitch to Hasse. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Herb, at this point in time, he is making it look easy.
And he's making good pitches. He's been around the plate all night and hitting corners, but he's quick. He's got that sneaky fastball, and it's up on those hitters in a hurry.
3-2 pitch to Ron Hasse. Hasse hits a foul ball back upstairs. The count is 3-2. Dino Lucarelli gracing our booth this evening. Gave me a cigar. The least I can do is mention his presence.
Don't light it in here, will you? Just in case.
You mean it might be loaded?
Could be.
3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. 7th inning, Sox sailing 2-0. Here's the payoff pitch to Hasse. Low and inside, ball 4. Ron Hasse is the 4th walk issued by Stone tonight, and it brings on Tommy Verizor. He is lined to the shortstop and popped up to the second baseman. We're going to move the outfield. Cruz, the right fielder, in. Harry Doby doing the outfield directing. He's got Bosley going over into the gap in left center and shallow. Here's the stretch. Pitch to Verizor, and Tommy takes low, ball 1. Naharodny smothers the ball, moving to his right. Hasse at first base, time called now. Naharodny will go to the mound and have a little chat with pitcher Steve Stone. We'll check the scoreboard for you. Cardinal has hit a home run for the Phillies. Jose Cardinal in the 7th inning, but it comes with nobody on, and the Giants still lead by a score of 2-1. Now Stone ready to work again to the right-hand batter. Pitch. Verizor pops the fly ball into center field. Bosley cruising back at his straightaway center and makes the catch. Sides retired. No runs, no hits, a walk. And a man left at the end of 7 innings of play. It is still the White Sox 2 and the Indians nothing.
You know, listening to Major League Baseball on 3WJ is a great way to follow the national pastime. But to really appreciate the game and the players' talents, at least once in a while, you should see a game in person. And those of us at 3WJ would like you to see the exciting Cleveland Indians on us during our Tribe Ticket Giveaway. All you have to do is send us your name, address, and phone number. And every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during the noon news, we'll draw a name to win 2 tickets to an Indians home game of your choice. If your name is drawn, your tickets go into the mail that same day. And we won't stick you out in the left field bleachers, but in box seats, so you'll be right next to the action. To enter, send your name, address, and phone number on a postcard or letter to Tribe Tickets, 3WJ, P.O. Box 373, Johnstown, Ohio, 43031. Again, that's Tribe Tickets, P.O. Box 373, Johnstown, Ohio, 43031. To win 2 box seat tickets to a Cleveland Indians baseball game of your choice. Entries are limited to 1 per week, so enter today and let 3WJ take you out to the ball game.
Well, I see tonight that the Toledo Mud Hens played their parent club, the Minnesota Twins, in Toledo, and Toledo bombed them 10-2. Stanfield over Jackson. Pittman had a home run for Toledo. They had 4,400 plus over at Turnpike Stadium. Now the batter will be Thad Bosley. Top of the 8th inning. Bosley, a left-hand hitter, has bounced to third, been called out on strikes, and lined to right. Wind up for the first pitch to the left-hand batter, going to butt at the ball and foul tipped at strike 1. Atlanta now leads Pittsburgh 4-2 in the 8th inning of play behind Ruthven. Bosley stepping back after that foul tip on the bunt try. Now gets back in again. Bannister is on deck. And we'll see Henry Cruz for the first time. Strike one pitch. Strike two. Drop the curveball over the outside corner. 2 strikes.
We've been talking about the fine performance of Steve Stone. Rick Waits has really pitched very, very well. He had that 1 inning where he gave up the 2 runs. One of those runs unearned.
Bosley again takes the long stroll out of the batter's box to the right and then comes back inside.
He's a little unhappy with that call on the last pitch.
Wind up by Waits, and the 0-2 pitch to Bosley. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Well, Bosley strikes out to start the 8th inning of play, and for Rick Waits, that is 7 strikeouts. Alan Bannister has singled to center, bounced to third, and been called out on strikes. Indians trailing the White Sox 2-0. Wind up of the pitch, and Bannister takes a curveball, strike one. What a departure this game is from the weekend. Pitch, curveball, little looper, left field. Grubb coming on, has to play it on the bounce, base hit. Bannister has his 2nd hit of the night.
Going into this game, Bannister only had 3 hits, 25 at-bats. He's had 2 for 4 in this game.
6 hits off Waits. Brings up Henry Cruz. Cruz is a left-hand batter, hitting .200 with 2 homers and 6 runs batted in. He has had 7 hits and 35 at-bats this year. Cruz played at Albuquerque in the Dodger organization last year, hit .353 in 133 games, 18 homers and 88 RBIs. Henry Cruz. He's 6 feet even, 175 pounds. Stretch, there goes Bannister. The ball is wrapped by... Oh, great stop by Bell. Up throws and got him!
Oh, my!
There is the play of the night.
There is one of the great plays you'll ever see a third baseman make. That was outstanding. Buddy was in close and off the line, and he dove back and toward the line, and I don't know how he got the ball.
Stabbed it backhanded, diving right at the bag, got up and threw out Cruz for the 2nd out of the inning. That was spectacular. Nordhagen, he has bounced to the pitcher, fouled to the second baseman, and bounced to the shortstop. Marvell Blanks continuing in the ball game at second base, having batted for Kuiper in the previous inning. The first pitch, Nordhagen takes low, ball 1. Well, now we have Bannister at second base and 2 outs, and a ball 1 count on Nordhagen. Wayne Nordhagen, 6'2", 210 pounds. Stretch, and then Waite steps back. Bannister retreats toward the bag at second. Nordhagen steps out, takes a look down to Bobby Knopp. Jim Kern getting up in the Indians' bullpen. Stretch by Waite. And the 1-0 pitch. Curveball low and inside, ball 2. We're in the top of the 8th. The White Sox are leading 2-0. We'll be getting a station break to you here as soon as we get an opportunity with Nordhagen at bat. Bannister strolls away to his lead at second base. Waite looks in, gets the sign. Stretch. And the 2-0 pitch. Curveball wrapped to the shortstop. Verizor in the hole. Long throw. He is out. Good harm by Tommy Verizor. So in the top of the 8th, no runs, 1 hit, 1 absolutely spectacular play by Buddy Bell, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 7 1/2 innings of play, the score at the stadium, the White Sox 2 and the Indians nothing.
Stand by engine room. Stand by engine room. Taking gangway, single up all lines.
Taking gangway, single up all lines.
Slow astern.
Slow astern, Captain.
Take over, mate. Let's get on downriver.
Hi, Captain. I'd like to try some of my mail pouch tobacco, Cap. Came aboard with the mail at Wheeling.
I don't mind if I do.
The story of a great American tradition, mail pouch chewing tobacco. Mail pouch was America's first brand of leaf tobacco, and it's been pleasing men ever since. That's because mail pouch has its own special, one-of-a-kind flavor that comes from over 90 years' experience in giving tobacco chewers what they want. A clean, fresh taste that's not too strong, but isn't too sweet either. A flavor that really lasts and satisfies a man all day long. So if you haven't tried Mail Pouch lately, chew a few packs and taste the Mail Pouch difference. You'll see why it's become a tradition to chew Mail Pouch and treat yourself to the best.
Now, before we do anything else, let's pause for station identification. This is the Cleveland Indians Baseball Network.
This is 3WJ, Central Ohio's home for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Browns, and Indians. WWJ, Johnstown.
Paul Dane, 2 for 3 on the night. He has 2 of the 3 Indian hits, and Buddy Bell has the other. Steve Stone looks in, gets the sign. Stone takes an extra long look and then winds up and throws, and Dade takes low, ball 1. A 2-run shot by Morrison, a solo blast by Boone for the Phillies, and Blue is out of there in the 8th at Philly. High and inside. 2-0. Giants went into the 8th with a 2-1 lead. They no longer have it. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Low, ball 3, 3-0. And some stirring in the White Sox bullpen. Thus far, that's all it is, just stirring. 3-0 the count. Wind up by the right-hander. Here's the pitch to Paul Dade. Dade takes inside, ball 4. The Indians have the leadoff man on in the 8th inning. 5 walks for Stone with the 5 strikeouts. Jimmy Norris has flied to left, bounced to first, popped up to the shortstop. Dennis Kinney is throwing in the Indians bullpen. Now we're going to see some action in the Sox bullpen. Jimmy now hitting at 262.
Going to get a left-hander hinting up. And let's see who the right hand is going to be.
Throw to first base. Dade is back.
Willoughby.
Jim Willoughby. And Hinton. Rich Hinton. Pitch. Norris takes a strike. Jimmy steps back, looks down to Joe Nosick, the third base coach. Stretch. On the strike 1 pitch. Strike 2, let her high. Dade at first. Well, the last time he walked Grubb, he struck out the next 2 men. Always seems that when he walks somebody, he starts pumping in the strikeouts. Stone the stretch. Here comes the 2-strike pitch to Jimmy. It is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Steve Stone looking for his 5th win of the year. Look, stretch, 1-2 pitch. Norris hits a looper. Third base side foul to the coach's box. Goes center home for the out. Norris fouls to third. There's 1 out of the 8th.
Now, Rodney was breaking over when the ball went up in the air, and he fell down. He was sprawled all around behind home plate. Umpire Brinkman checking to see if he was okay.
Now the batter will be Buddy Bell. Bell is single to left, bounced to third, been called out on strikes, and is getting a fine round of applause from the Indian fans for a sensational play that he made in the top half of this inning. Stretch of the pitch, and Buddy takes a strike on the inside corner, strike 1. Buddy was called out on strikes last time and gave Joe Brinkman a little business, and now he's talking to him again. Stretch of the strike 1 pitch, and Buddy hits a drive to left center field. Racing back is Bosley. Caught the ball in the dead run right in front of the 385 sign.
Thad Bosley using those long legs, and he moved them in a hurry.
Dade at second base retreats quickly. Well, Andre Thornton now will try to do something. He has popped to third and walked twice. Hinton and Willoughby in the White Sox bullpen. This is the last half of the 8th inning, and the White Sox lead 2-0. Phil Naharodny's 2-run double in the 4th inning, the only scoring in the ball game. And again, they put Nordhagen back to within a step of the warning path, about 25 feet off the line in left. High pop-up. Straight up in the air. Lamar Johnson, first baseman. Fair ball and out. Thornton pops up to the first baseman. It's no runs, no hits, a walk, and a man left, and we're going to the ninth. And the score at Cleveland remains the White Sox 2 and the Indians nothing.
They're everywhere. I've got one in my office, I've got two in the garage at home, and yesterday I even found one in the men's restroom. This is Dave Smith, and I'm talking about the selection of new Fords at Dave Smith Ford, 10 minutes east of Columbus on Broad Street. We have a fine selection, and I'll save you money on a new Ford or buy you 2 steak dinners for your trouble. Come out where we offer on-the-spot financing and it's fun to buy a car. That's Dave Smith Ford on Broad Street, halfway between Columbus and Newark.
Automobile drivers cause more than 2/3 of all car motorcycle accidents. As both a driver and a cyclist, I know how hard it is to judge the speed and distance of a motorcycle. That's why it's important for drivers like me to keep an eye out for cyclists like me. That's what highway safety is all about.
Just to know we're all out here together, you and I.
Presented by the Ohio Department of Highway Safety.
In the ninth inning, Johnson, Naharodny, and Orta will go against Rick Waits. White Sox are leading 2-0. Now Reed has come on to pitch in the ninth inning. We should be getting a score then at the end of 8 on that Philly game. Carlton was the pitcher through the first 8. Let's see, the Phillies came up with a 3 spot in the 8th inning. And that gives them a 4-2 lead over the Giants, with San Francisco now batting in the top of the 9th. Here's the windup by Waits, and the first pitch. The curve is low to Lamar Johnson and bounces right by Hasse back to the screen. Ball 1. Lamar Johnson is single. He was safe on Verizer's error in the 4th and bounced to the shortstop in the 6th. Pitch to him. Line drive to the mound. Waits reached up, and there it was. 1 out. That was one of those look what I found jobs. 1 away. Well, here's the bad guy tonight, Bill Naharodny. He doubled off the fence in left to drive in 2 in the 4th inning. Lined up on the pitch to Naharodny. He drives one to center field. Manning back there waiting. Got it. 2 outs. Well hit ball, but right back to Manning. 2 away, and the batter is George Orta. Orta has struck out, walked, and been called out on strikes. Top of the 9th, 2-0. The White Sox are leading. Indians will get one more shot at Steve Stone. Manning, Grubb, and Blanks are due in the 9th. Wind up by Waits in the pitch. Inside, ball 1 to George Orta. Now Waits doesn't like the baseball and exchanges it with Joe Brinkman. Manji and Barrios tomorrow night at 7:35. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Curveball, wrapped back up the middle, grabbed by the shortstop Verizer, next to the bag, fires to first, and the side is retired. 1-2-3. Oh, we're going to the last half of the 9th inning, and the score remains the White Sox 2 and the Indians nothing.
This is Dave Smith of Dave Smith Ford on Broad Street. We're halfway between Columbus and Newark. We sell new Fords. We will save you money. In fact, we have a little statement we make. If we can't save you money on a new Ford, I'll buy you 2 steak dinners. And we don't buy very many steak dinners. So come on over and see us. We've got a fine selection right now. New and used cars, over 200 new cars, almost 100 used cars. So if you want a new Ford or a used car, come see us on Broad Street.
Jamal Wilkes of the Los Angeles Lakers talks about what it would mean to be a father.
I think it would be a lot of responsibility, you know. I couldn't just get up and do things. I have to think about my child. Once a child is here, it's your child. There's no getting around that. So I would just say be very careful about what you do and who you do it with.
Parenthood is not a game. Don't play around with it. A message from the U.S. Public Health Service.
Now they're posting those West Coast pitchers. At California, Jim Palmer against Don Ozzie. Baltimore playing there. At Boston, or at Oakland, it's Bill Lee against Pete Broberg.
And Jim Palmer going into his 4th straight shutout. Our guest on the postgame show tonight is going to be Bob Quinn. The free agent draft will be up tomorrow, and check with Bob and see what the Indians have in mind and just how it's going to work.
Well, here it is, the last half of the 9th inning. It's going to be Rick Manning for openers. Manning has bounced to second, but safe for the fielder's choice and struck out. The pitch to Manning is low, ball 1. Next pitch, and Rick takes low, ball 2. In the bullpen, Hinton, the left-hander, continues to work. The next pitch, Manning hit the hot shot to second. Order on the second hop has it, throws to first, and there is 1 out in the 9th. Brings up Johnny Grubb. John has slid to left, walked, and slid to center field. The Indians, trailing 2-0, are running out of outs. 1 away in the last half of the 9th inning. Wind up by Stone on the pitch, and Grubb takes the curveball for a strike. Strike 1. Grubb's batting average down now to .241. Stone waiting. Grubb gets squared away. Here's the windup and the strike 1 pitch. Johnny takes strike 2 at the knees. Grubb squared away again. Wind up by Stone. The 2-strike pitch. Grubb checked his swing and foul tipped it right into Naharat Smith for a strikeout. There are 2 outs in the 9th. 6 strikeouts for Stone. The batter is Marvell Blanks. He has batted 1 time, pinch hitting for Kuiper in the 7th inning, and Stone struck him out. 2 outs and nobody on in the last of the 9th. Wind up with a pitch by Stone. Blanks takes high, ball 1. White Sox 2 runs, 6 hits. The Indians no runs, 3 hits. Pitch to Blanks. Low, ball 2, 2-0. Ron Hassey on deck, but Blanks has got to keep it alive. Wind up at the 2-0 pitch to Blanks. Strike at the knees, 2 balls, strike 1. Next pitch, Marvell fouls it out of play to the right. Johnson starts over, so does Cruz, but no chance. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bob Quinn standing by to be the 10th inning guest. He never appears on winning ball games. He's hoping tonight will be the night. And if it is, it's going to take some kind of last-ditch rally. 2-2 pitch to Blanks. Swing and a foul tip. Blanks is still alive. We do not really plan to put Bob on at the end of losing ball games.
No.
Just seems to work out that way. The draft is tomorrow. We must look at it in a positive fashion. We would have had Bob on had we been ahead 16-0, right?
We probably wouldn't have been able to find him.
Here's the windup and the 2-2 pitch to Marvell Blanks. Low and outside, full count of 3-2.
As a matter of fact, Bob came up from his office because he's been working all day long with his staff going over just who they'll draft for tomorrow.
Looks a little haggard, I must admit, a little bit haggard. Well, here's the 3-2 pitch to Marvell Blanks, and Marvell walks on a high fastball.
Hassey's been called back. And let's see who he gets.
That's the 6th walk given up by Stone. Who's going to get off the bench? Well, in a moment, somebody's going to pop out of that.
Going to be Willie Horton.
Willie Horton coming to bat in the 9th inning with a man at first base and 2 outs.
Rip Sorborg taking the left-hand hitting Hassey out to bring up the right-hand swinging Willie Horton with the hope that Willie will put a charge in one and hit it right out of here. And Willie's been swinging the bat very well the last week.
Well, as Herb mentioned, a right-hand batter, Willie Horton, pinch hitting here in the ninth.
Bob Lemon taking a walk to the mound.
Horton is a pinch hitter, 0 for 1. He's got Willoughby and he's got Hinton in the bullpen. Naharodny, Stone, and Lemon chatting on the mound. Horton hitting .254, 5 homers, and 19 runs batted in. Lemon headed back to the dugout. Stone will stay to face Willie Horton. Well, one mighty clout, and we got a brand new ball game. Horton waiting. Stone the stretch. Pitch to Willie. Way outside. Ball 1. Tom Verizor on deck. Blanks at first base. Now time called, and Stone wants to change the baseball. 1-0 the count. And Stone wants to change the ball again. Probably got the one he didn't like in the first place right back. Willie Horton all set. Stone looks, the sign, the stretch, the pitch. Horton hits a very high fly ball to center field. Bosley started back. He's coming in under the ball, makes the catch. The game is over, and the White Sox win 2-0. We'll be back to wrap it up after this timeout.
No matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of blood is like an eagle when you get bored down.
Yeah, that's right. There's nothing like getting home, especially when there's a cold can of Bud waiting for you. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Well, here's the story on tonight's ball game at the stadium. The White Sox 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors with 5 left. The Indians no runs, 3 hits, 1 error with 8 left. The winning pitcher is Steve Stone. Stone's record is now 5-3. In going the distance for the second time this year, he allowed the 3 hits, he struck out 6, and he walked 6. For the Indians, the loser is Rick Waite. He is 3-6. He went the full 9 for the 6th time in his 11th start. Gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of them earned. He struck out 7 and walked only 1. And Waite's earned run average now drops to 3.02. But the Indians drop the ball game and now go to 23-27 in the year, while the White Sox are at 20-29. Sox are now 7-16 on the road, while the Indians at home have won 12 and lost 9. We'll have more for you right after this timeout.
Do it any way you want to, but do it in a Dodge from Spitzer Dodge in Columbus. The 1978 Dodge line is the best ever, featuring the new Magnum XE, the totally personal approach to driving excitement. The Magnum XE is your own private island. The most tempting of this year's line is the 78 Dodge Diplomat, a car that fits everyone to a T. And of course, the Dodge fans win a class by themselves. See them all at Spitzer Dodge, 5100 East Main, Columbus. Every year, plague and animal pests and diseases cost Americans $12 billion. Who pays? You do. When you buy food, when you pay taxes. Many of our most destructive diseases and pests are foreign invaders. They come back from abroad with travelers like you. A free booklet about this problem is called Traveler's Tips. Don't be part of the problem. Traveler's Tips, USDA, Washington, D.C. 20250.
travel agent.
The only scoring in this ball game tonight came in the fourth inning of play. Chet Lemon opened with a single to center field. Nordhagen fouled to the second baseman. Then Johnson bounced back to the shortstop. Verizor bobbled the ball for an error. That put runners at first and at second with one out. And Naharodny drilled a double off the left field fence. That made it 2-0, and that's the way it ended, as both pitchers slammed the door the rest of the way. Tomorrow night, we're going to see Sid Manji making his first start since September 30th, 1976, when he was still a California Angel. And his mound opponent will be Francisco Barrios. Barrios with a record of 3-5, a right-hander against Manji against the White Sox lifetime, incidentally, is 2-1. His last two starts were against Chicago. He beat them 6-2 in one of them, and then lost to them 2-1 in 10 innings in the other affair. That was back in 1976. And the Indians then will take on Toronto in a twilight doubleheader on Wednesday night. Jim Clancy and Jerry Garvin against David Clyde and Mike Paxton. I'll have more for you right after we take this time out.
It's time to let it go. It's the night time. So busy, bird. And for the king of music, and settle back. And the DJ said, no matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of blood is like an easy chair when you get burned by Hey, that's right. Nothing goes with that special time you call yours like the cool, fresh taste of Budweiser. When you say Budweiser, deep sixty, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Well, we invite you now to stay tuned for the 10th inning show. I'll have all the scores of all the games, and Herb will be chatting with Indians farm director Bob Quinn. It took 2 hours and 7 minutes before 5,391 at the stadium. The final score, the Chicago White Sox 2, the Cleveland Indians 0.
Exciting Major League Baseball action with the Cleveland Indians on 3WJ. Indians Baseball brought to you by Ostrander Chevrolet on Hardwood Road just south of Mount Vernon. On Moss's Restaurant in Mount Vernon, the word quality is synonymous with Moss's. Dave Smith Ford, 10 minutes east of Columbus on Broad Street. By Mail Pouch Chewing Tobacco. Anheuser-Busch, winners of Budweiser, the king of beers. There's no better way to relax than with the easy taste of Budweiser. Spitzer Dodge, 5100 East Main in Columbus. Marco Polo Lounge on West 5th Avenue in Columbus. Across from North Star, 3WJ, your total sports station in Central Ohio, and Cleveland Indians Baseball.
Only the rich can afford to buy elsewhere. That's a little slogan that I've made up. This is Dave Smith of Dave Smith Ford. And that is right. Only the rich can afford to buy elsewhere because we will save you money on a new Ford, car, or truck. We have a very fine selection of used cars also at this time. We need more used cars, so if you do have a used car or especially a used truck you want to trade, bring on over to us because we do need them. Dave Smith Ford, halfway between Columbus and Newark.
We love to see Ohio from our Thanksgiving show. The best way to history is running us like a goal. We took you back when we were born, that helped us reach and grow. If you want to see America, discover Ohio.
Celebrate Ohio's 175th anniversary with a visit to Adena, the Chillicothe plantation of Thomas Worthington, the father of Ohio statehood. Adina's stately buildings, lush pastures, and beautiful gardens will take you back to a simpler time in our past. Visit the Ohio Historical Society's Adina, open Tuesday through Sunday in Chillicothe.
We want you to see Ohio. Come and join the Sunshine State.
You know, listening to Major League Baseball on 3WJ is a great way to follow the national pastime. But to really appreciate the game and the players' talents, at least once in a while, you should see a game in person. And those of us at 3WJ would like you to see the exciting Cleveland Indians on us during our Tribe Ticket Giveaway. All you have to do is send us your name, address, and phone number. Then every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during the noon news, we'll draw a name to win 2 tickets to an Indians home game of your choice. If your name is drawn, your tickets go into the mail that same day. And we won't stick you out in the left field bleachers, but in box seats, so you'll be right next to the action. To enter, send your name, address, and phone number on a postcard or letter to Tribe Tickets, 3WJ, P.O. Box 373, Johnstown, Ohio, 43031. Again, that's Tribe Tickets, P.O. Box 373, Johnstown, Ohio, 43031. To win 2 box seat tickets to a Cleveland Indians baseball game of your choice. Entries are limited to 1 per week, so enter today and let 3WJ take you out to the ball game. The 10th inning, a wrap of today's Cleveland Indians baseball game and scores from around the league, is brought to you after every Cleveland Indians baseball game here on 3WJ. The 10th inning and Cleveland Indians baseball are a part of 3WJ's Total Sports presentation.
Well, our guest on our 10th inning show is advertised Bob Quinn, the farm director of the Indians. And Bob, I know tomorrow is a big day for you.
Yes, it is, Herb. It's the annual free agent draft of high school and college players, and it's been a long week, believe me.
Bob, maybe some of the fans, they hear us talk about the free agent draft, and there are certain rules that we even don't familiarize ourselves with all the time, and they change from time to time. Who can be drafted?
All graduating high school seniors, college juniors who have attained the age of 21 within 45 days of the draft, and all graduating college seniors. So there is quite a number of players available, somewhere between 500 and 600 players, and over 1,200 reports that we've been through.
Well, what about a youngster who is graduating high school, and yet he signed a letter of intent with a college? Can you still draft him?
We can still draft and attempt to sign that boy, and one of the top players in the country has been recruited already by Notre Dame, and we've received his figure, and believe me, it's a dandy. So you have to be careful, and that's part of the reports, and I want to pay credit where credit is due to Paul O'Day and Southeastern scouting supervisor Leon Hamilton, and, of course, Dan Carnavelli. They've been with me the last 4 days